bullshit. They process the crap out of food these days so it lasts longer on the shelves, taking out all the nutrients, all the good stuff, then they add back in sugar, salt, and fat. Take the potato chip, for instance. 2.5 ounces of potato chips have almost double the calories and over 6 times the fat content of a potato with a huge slab of butter. Wait a minute. Let's not break the law here. Did you know it's a crime in Colorado to say bad stuff about agriculture? To send the message, the food industry, just kind of like the mob, even sued the Oprah. But that's not the scary thing about the mechanized food industry. Yeah. So many experts believe that high fructose corn syrup, which is in everything, is the root cause of our obesity problem. My friends at Ignite Boulder 7, I'm Aaron Sagray, and this is a DIY guide to Nom Nom Nom. I'm going to take you guys on a personal journey into the kitchen and teach you how to cook real food. Now, like everyone else, I started out by buying a bunch of cookbooks. And after stressing over having the right ingredients and stuff, I realized I was a slave to Rachel and to the Julia. I needed to get back to the basics and learn how flavors really work. And once you know how they work together, you can do some amazing stuff in the kitchen. For instance, put too much salt in something, no problem. Just add some sugar, it covers it up. But ratios are the most liberating thing about cooking, seriously. Knowing the relationship between ingredients is way better than following a freaking recipe. Take bread for example. There we are. Woo! Combine those ingredients over time, one at a time into a bowl on a scale. Then knead it by hand or in a mixer. You know you're good to go when you can break off a small piece, stretch it out like this, and it'll be semi-transparent. Then cover the bowl, let it rise for a little while. Bake it for 10 minutes at 450, 50 minutes at 375. Dude, this shit's so easy, I was able to watch Demolition Man, and I didn't miss a thing. It's true. So, stocks are what separate the men from the boys. Make your own stock, it's easy to do. Add 3 parts water to 2 parts carcass. The key is heat and time. Throw in a little salt, garlic, veggies, herbs, and then cook it at 180 for 4 hours. Now once you got stock, you need to make soup. Just take the broth, strain off fat, and just throw a bunch of crap in it. I threw in my favorite veggies, lentils, and macaroni. 4 hours later, I had 4 gallons of homemade soup. So when you have a metric ass ton of soup, you gotta freeze it. You do. A top-loading freezer costs about as much as an Xbox, and soup will stay good and not get all nasty until about a year later. Speaking of nasty, please do not cook with vegetable oil. It'll give you back boobs. Instead, use good pure olive oil. If you're stir-frying, use a peanut oil or a grapeseed oil because that keeps it from smoking up. Now, vinegar is important too. It adds acidity to your food, tenderizes meat. I use red wine vinegar a lot, but balsamic, champagne, and rice are amazing. Get them, try them out. Now, one of the biggest ripoffs at the grocery store is salad dressing. You can make your own for about 1/4 of the price they sell it at King Soopers, and it'll taste better. Just add 1 part vinegar to 3 parts oil, and then a bunch of herbs. You know, you can experiment. That's one of my favorite things about cooking. Once you know the basics, it's really hard to screw things up. And I'm a nerd, so I write down a lot of the things that I do, and someday I'm gonna make a cookbook and sell it to a bunch of bitches. So, now one of my favorite hacks is open source cola. A bunch of wily nerds hacked the cola recipe and came up with a GPL recipe that you could download. And it's cool because it's more like a chemistry project. You could actually either, burn a hole in your skin with acid or poison someone. So when I talked about vinegar earlier, don't use white vinegar, it sucks for cooking, but it is an amazing household cleaner, seriously. And since it's Christmas time, there's one more important food hack I want to mention. It's very cool and trendy to give food to charities like we're doing today, but around summertime is when the food banks start to run dry. Well, Ignite has always been about doing something important for the community. So from now on, we are making it our mission to food hack Ignite and support local food banks year-round. Thanks for listening. Let's cook out something good for ourselves and for our community.